I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor, Mr. Ross,
Yes.
Ms. Valley,
yes.
and Mr. Hessian is a yes. Approved minutes, we do not have any minutes. Administrative update, Robin is not on yet. Therefore, we have no abatements. As far as the new connections on 405 BFW Parkway, that was simply a garage with no bathroom or any wastewater, so that was approved. Let's move to new business. I put on the agenda in light of a couple things, one being 40Bs and the other my concern juggling the administrative order. Town council represents town hall, and we may be running into a difference of opinion with the moratorium and in environmental matters. My understanding is that as long as we have money to cover legal bills, we can still hire outside counsel for second opinions. I would say we move at least $25,000 or $15,000, or consider moving $10,000 or $15,000 into a secondary account in case we need second opinions on legal fees.
Uh-oh.
The recording stopped.
I wonder how that happened, why that happened.
Let me shoot a
Can you get a
message.
hold of Chris before I
Let me-
leave?
Let me see if I can get him.
I have a call-in user. I was wondering, could you identify yourself, please?
Chris is on his way back in.
Okay, I see him there now. Hey, Chris, we gotta stop the recording thing. You're muted.
Don't know what happened. That must be new. Let me do this again. There we go.
There you go.
Mhm.
Okay. So, back to that. What's your opinions on that, Dan?
On what?
On getting a setting up
On
a
lawyer?
setting up an account in case we need to get second opinions if we want to double check.
I would say the 15,000 probably help us.
And I'm not questioning town council and I'm not questioning loyalties. It's just that, let's face it, he's paid by town hall. And you're gonna look out for your number one client, but I want to make sure we're getting the best advice we can.
Yes.
Sherry, what's your opinion on it?
I'm not opposed, excuse me, I'm not opposed to it, but we only budgeted 9,000 for the year.
But we might have monies that we could tack away and put away another 15 for it. I'd like you to at least take that into consideration and look around where we could tap into an account to maybe create a $15,000. I know I talked to two attorneys, and both would want a $10,000 retainer. Now, I'm not saying we'd use all that up, but there may be some instances with 40Bs or questions with the moratorium. People ask us to circumvent the moratorium that we may want a second opinion, someone with more expertise in environmental matters and that. So if you would please take that as a task to see if you could come up with another 15.
Yeah,
We could table that for later discussion.
Yeah. Okay, noted.
Okay, second item on new business is this new superintendent and start date. We have extended an offer to Mr. Michael Buckley. He currently resides in Middleborough. He has accepted the offer. Currently, he's a sales manager for an environmental firm. And he will be joining us full-time on January 8th. Reason being right now, he's using up vacation time and spending some time with the family because he's been doing a lot of traveling. His references checked out impeccably. He's got a good, solid background. Chemical engineer. He also has got a grade 4 wastewater treatment license and a grade 4 drinking water license. So I think he's in it for the long haul, and he's very excited about starting. We interviewed him, and I think we all came away very impressed with him. So hopefully we'll be able to get him to our next meeting so you can see his true Nicholas face. Before we go into any old business, Robin, do you want to give us an update, or do you want to wait till you feel better?
I'll wait until I feel better. Thank you.
Okay. I wanted to, the new connections on 405, it's just a garage. There's no bathroom of that in it, so I told him that was an okay approval. Continuation of old business, and now I think Rick and Megan will be doing cartwheels if they haven't already. We had 3 bids to refurbish Spruce Street ejector station. The bids came in at, Sherry, remind me, 162, 149, and $112,100, which was submitted by Weston Sampson, and they were awarded the contract. They also, just for the record, did the butternut station, so they'll be doing they have duplicating their efforts in that station. We had budgeted 100,000. We're coming in about 12,000 more than we thought. So, Sherry, anything you want to add to that, or?
No, that covers it.
Okay.
Excuse me, Chuck,
Yeah,
can you repeat what those 3 amounts were again?
say that again.
Can you repeat the 3 amounts that the bids came in for again?
Okay, I left them on your desk. I think I want.
Yeah, Robin, you have them.
I'm going from memory now, but I didn't write them down. I left my notes with you. 162 and change, 149 and change, and 112,100. 112,100,000 was the winner.
All right, thank you so much.
Drainage letter from Chris Kenny. I want to share my screen on this. Well, it's EPA letter. Okay, this came from back in January and July, we received a letter from Dave Taylor that the highway's taken over drainage, and the reason we questioned that was that in the charter, it states that the sewer commission is also the drainage commission. And it was nothing to do with challenging that. What it was to alleviate any confusion on our part for budgetary purposes. There was one instance last year that a drainage bill came in for 24,000 that we were told we split. We paid that, and then we get hit with another 48,000. So we wanted to make sure of where those responsibilities lie. And this letter, now that I'm posting it, is public record. And it says the drainage is really the responsibility of compilation of sewer, highway, planning, and zoning enforcement, which is Tom Rubel. So I would say that the bulk of the work is on the highway, so I think the budgetary should go with them for drainage. So we'll see where this goes. And like I said, this letter is on public record. So anyone wants to talk about it, they're more than welcome to it. Nothing more said on that. Working session update.
For the working session, I will say minutes should be posted through the end of September, sometime next week. We approved an amended moratorium that should be posted. We were going to have our sewer department ordinance on the special town meeting, but that was removed. However, the commissioners approved it as department rules and regulations. And so that should appear in May on the town meeting. We approved the contract for the annual year 2 I&I control plan. We are setting up an I&I remediation account. We approved the basic process for it. In next working session, we're going to look at kind of a revised ledger account, which gives a little more information on it.
Sure, why don't you go into a little more about how that I&I remediation account's gonna work?
So the way the account's going to work, the I&I remediation, as we all know, we have to have removed inflow and infiltration so that it's available for the next new user to be added. The remediation ledger account will start tracking how much is removed, as well as how much is then apportioned to the next building project. So we'll always have a running balance of where we stand when we make decisions regarding the wait list.
One thing I want to add to that is that just because you remove I&I is always going to be with us. A rule of thumb always states that if you have a capacity, you should always remove 5% of your total capacity each year, just as I&I maintenance, which means the sewer department should be removing 125,000 gallons a year just to take care of normal wear and tear. But just because we remove 100,000 gallons don't necessarily mean we're going to be able to allocate that 100,000. It's all going to be dependent on a 12-month rolling average of flow. You cannot release if we're going to be over our permit. But the way it's looking now is that, and I'll be going into a little more with the I&I remediation, is that we have enough in our account right now that we can remove some I&I and allocate that to the next available on the waiting list to give us a continuous flow of moderate growth, moderate revenue, I want to say, to sustain us. That's all I want to say on that. What about the accounting update?
The accounting update, we met with Scott, the town accountant, and are all clear on what accounts will be used for what expenses. And by that, I mean, we have a budget line item that will take care of our expenses for the year 2 control plan. The police details that are associated with that control plan are going to be expensed out of the article balance. And then for the actual I&I work and that police detail will be coming from the remainder of the ARPA funds and then the I&I development fees that we have received to date.
Right. As far as project updates, I'd like to update everyone to this. As you know, last year, we went through our first year of our control plan. And that control plan takes us out 10 plus years on how we're going to stay on top of the I&I. And part of that was the CWMP, the facility study, and the rate study on how we're going to pay for all this. We're now looking at the year 2 I&I. Now, what the year 2 I&I remediation has done is that we conducted a metering study where we put 15 meters throughout the town, and it came back with areas that has potential of 915,000 gallons of I&I. Now when they say the potential of 915,000, they look at what they saw for flow at that time. They calculate in rain events and things like that. So it's not really a firm number, but they did identify 11 areas. So we took 2 of the highest areas 11 and 6, and we're going in now to look at those areas and identify where those sources of I&I are, and are they repairable? Now that work is ongoing right now as we speak. It's funded. We budgeted money for it in our fiscal year 24 budget. Once they identify the sources, we have the funds available to repair what they feel is repairable in those two areas. My guess is that we probably may see another 100,000 gallons, 125,000 gallons of INI recovered. Once we do that, that'll take us, that work, the investigation work is ongoing now. Once they come back with the report of what they have found and identified the sources, we have to go out to bid to solicit a contractor to repair that. Now, to prepare the bid scope and the design work will probably take us to February. We should be able to go out to bid by February, March, have a vendor selected by April and begin the repair work, the physical repair work by April, May. And that'll take us to FY25 and then we'll repeat the process again. I think it's a good plan. I mean, it's a steady plan. And it's all based on with the moratorium that we cannot give away what we don't have. This way here, we'll know what we have available to give out to the next available developer. EPA outlining our 5-year plan. We had a conversation with the EPA back about 3 weeks ago. And one of the requests they made was that if we could give them some kind of an idea of what the board plans to do and planned on doing for INI over the next 5 years. And what I did is we prepared this letter for them, broken down to FY23, FY24, right out through FY25. The reason we just went to that far because we want to be cautious. We're not sure of any catastrophic events with the older equipment, but this is a real doable plan based on our INI control plan and the funding that we'll have available at the, coming to us. If people want to know how we're going to progress this, take a look at the metering plan. This time this year we're going after areas 6 and 11. I believe the next 2 areas we'll go after would be 9 and 10, and so on. If we have more money, we can go after more. But right now, that's where it stands. And like I said, I just prepared this letter for them on where we'd be going. And again, this is now public record, so if anybody wants to see that, that is available. Let me see. I'll put off the current capacity update till Rick comes on. We received a letter yesterday from the licensing board on the digester piping. As you know, we completed the digester boiler repairs. The letter gave us an extension till, Rick, help me out with this, May 1st of 2025. Am I correct?
That is correct, Chuck. May
Okay,
1st,
so
2025.
that bid is now out right now. So we solicited bids for that work. That bid is due to be open on November 15th of this year, and we can get going selecting a vendor on that. The reason we feel we'll maybe have a little more luck with this is that due to the timeline that the state gave us, I think it scared away a lot of potential bidders. I still see this work being in the vicinity of $500,000. 500. What was it for $500,000? So
Right. Yep.
So that will be doing the generator replacement that's been approved by Sourcewell. That is be part of our facility upgrade to stage 1, which will be the phosphorus upgrade and the entire electrical system upgrade. The generator has got a 55-week lead time. So by the time we have the design work done for the facility upgrade, for the stage 1, it should all fall into place with that. That's about all we have going on that now. Violi, I'll turn it over to Rick or Megan, who wants to do the September MLR.
Sure. Not sure if Megan's on. Let's see. I can do the flow, which is on. Okay, so for flow, actually went up drastically from our August to our September. Back in August, I think our effluent flow was like 2.0. And this past September, it went up to 2.5. So we quickly went right up on that flow, but at the same time, we also had 6.17 inches of rain for the month of September. So as Chuck said earlier, it's all to do with I&I at the facility.
So Rick, is it still safe to say for our 12-month average is still around 2.6?
So, okay, so looking at the influent, because, you know, obviously going up, the influent right now is at about 2.76 for the influent moving average. The effluent, again, we don't have a full year yet, is at currently right around 2.4. But again, we still need this, that's only based on like 7 months. So we still got a few more months of getting through the winter and just really to see where the effluent flow moving average lands. So we're still early on that number.
The influence should match the effluent, so let's.
It should be
figure-
really close, correct?
Yeah.
It
So
should be
we're
very
gonna
close.
use it. Last month was 2.66, so that comes out close to that 2.7.
Right. See what I'm gonna go over here. Repair and maintenance. I think we've talked about this over and over. The plant's getting older. The good news, I guess. Let's go good news. The Green Community project that was started, it was actually for the heating boiler HVAC system. That was completed last Friday on the 10/20. Also, we had six valves. All 6 water valves were replaced and VFDs were installed. And this was done to conserve water and electrical usage during the heating system. So it's on right now, and hopefully we'll have better numbers after this winter season. Well, I don't think we'll need it this week, but the nice warm weather. And so during the maintenance issues, like I said, now we'll go to the negative stuff. Last Friday, actually it was early in the week, we had a water main break at the facility. And we had to shut the whole water off to the facility, had an outside contractor come in and basically put a 2-inch ball valve to close the water off to the back half of the facility. So that puts me in a little dilemma right now because I have no water, again, to the back of the facility. But like I said, he was very amazed, let's just call it that, on the condition of the facility. He's like, wow, you guys have a lot of water issues down here. It's just that, again, like we've hammered over and over again, the structure, the aging of the facility. You know, it's almost like, you know, you put this little Band-Aid, where's the water, very similar to I&I, where's the next water break gonna be at the plant? And we're keeping
How is that gonna affect you with the line? That was my concern.
So the water in the line, we're okay. It's the other fire buildings. So,
Okay.
right. And one of the buildings being where we keep the generator. So we've got some temporary water going out there right now, using the feed water. So we should be okay, but it's still something we're going to have to address in the, near future. Maybe we can wait, get it done this year, or maybe we can wait till the spring to, to fix the water main leaks. But we're monitoring right now the water usage at the facility just to see if it goes up or not, or it goes down. A couple other things. One of the things I started on a project, I had one of the recirc pumps from the digester building. So we spent a lot of money to digest the building, looking at ways to try to save some money out there. And we have these 2 recirc pumps. And they, as part of the contract from the engineer, they had us replacing them right around about $75,000. But I talked to a couple of vendors. We ended up getting a quote roughly around $12,500. And the pump is going to be completely rehabbed, everything, new sleeves, new shafts, stuffing boxes. So I think for an investment of $12,500, and again, we're doing one right now. Once that one comes back, we're going to more than likely, well, I know we're going to do the second one. And so we're going to basically get the job done for like $25K, when if we had to go out to bid and everything, and again, that was an estimate, that cost of that project over there would have been $75K. So I think we saved ourselves some money and just keep, and I'm very confident that we're not putting a Band-Aid on this one. What else? Yeah, I'm trying to think. As far as the plant itself is running well, no issues. We've had some multiple meetings on the tertiary system. Everything's going well on that. And we're still trying to decide, we got we got engineers, Veolia, Chuck's been at these meetings also, to eventually figure out what's the best system for the town of Rockland sewer users. And I like the way it's being handled, because not only taking the engineering's, point of view, they're also taking the operator and myself, and, down the road, it's nice to put a new system in. But once the smoke clears, it's the operators that actually have to operate the system. My goal is to put the correct system in there that's going to be low maintenance and user friendly. Because the last thing I want to put back down in the back is something that's going to just create havoc to all the operators down the road.
While we're on the subject of the tertiary, how are you making out with sludge?
So sludge. Okay, that's a good one.
Ka-ding!
Yeah, thank you. So everything's had been going well. Yesterday, I believe it was, or it's actually Thursday. Yeah, I think it was actually Tuesday.
2 days ago.
Yeah, we received a letter from Synagro, and guess what? They're shutting that back down again for 7 to 14 days. So this morning around 9 a.m., I had another meeting with Veolia, and it's not just us. They were obviously I was representing Rockland. It was Rockland, East Providence, Brockton. We even had a facility, New York, and one of them from Connecticut. We're all on this call today, and we're just putting our heads together to figure out, what do we do? So I'm waiting for them to get back to me, and hoping that they're going to be able to start taking some of Rockland's sludge. And the state knows about the issues. We had Chuck was on that meeting there. Came up on sludge. My problem is, no matter where we're at with this whole thing with the state and lack of sludge facilities, in the state, is nothing's going to be built within the next, 5 years. I mean, first you talk design, first you got to find where you're going to put the facility, then design it, then, and then obviously the engineering, designing, and then construction. So we're probably looking realistically 10 years out.
I was telling Megan earlier today that when we had that meeting, we had a phone call. I don't know if I told Sherry and Dan. We were on, I think it was about the extension for the phosphorus system.
Right.
And they kept answering us. So finally I figured I might as well have some fun. I said to them, this is all well and good. I said, but what are you guys planning on doing about sludge disposal? You're coming out with all these great regulations on that, but what are you doing to help us out to get rid of it? The gentleman from the state, Dave Burns, he kind of just chuckled. The attorney and the gentleman from the EPA, they kind of just, they started shuffling papers like they didn't want to hear it. I mean, it was pretty comical. I mean, but they have to address it. I mean, these people we're all producing sludge, and it's getting tighter and tighter on it with us. And all right, what are you going to do with it? They don't have any answers.
Right. Yeah, their alternative this Tuesday was to stack it, save it at your facility. So my thing is like, so where am I going to store all these dumpsters of sludge, and then when am I going to be able to get rid of them? I mean, so like I said, more to come on that matter. I would hopefully by tomorrow I'd get at least an update from Synagro. But again, their system is back down again.
But is this customer, because they're so up and down, I lose track. Is this due to the holidays or
no? It's just due to they're probably very similar to us. Construction. I mean, their equipment's getting tired, Chuck, and they're finding it more and more. It's breaking down. I mean, I've been using Synagro for a number of years. I can't even tell you, 15 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
Never had these issues. They would shut it down every couple of years, do some basic maintenance, and you could plan for that, and then we have other alternatives to take the sludge to. But now, the big thing is with PFAS, you can't get rid of it. Nobody wants it, so it's become a major issue. That used to have.
Speaking of PFAS, didn't they just come out with the sampling protocol?
Well, I heard they were working on it, so
I heard they came out.
Yeah. So we just actually, speaking of PFAS, we did our first quarter in July. We just completed our second quarter analysis. in first week of October, so I should see some results in November. But again, like I explained again, about the PFAS is just it's 5 years of data collection right now.
Yeah.
And
That's
we'll
one
see.
thing when we went into try to come up with a budget for the facility, people saying, why did it take a jump? Well, from the 50 million, we didn't plan on another 15 million for a phosphorus system they hit us with. And the other thing we haven't planned on is they plan on giving us nitrogen requirements and PFAS requirements. We have no way of putting price tag on that.
Right, they've asked us, like, what is your plan on PFAS removal? And then right now, nothing. We're just the technology's not out there right now. That's the problem. For wastewater facilities, it is for water facilities, but for wastewater, I think we'll be talking PFAS construction. If anything like that, that'll be 15 years down the road.
You and I'll be long gone.
Yep, absolutely.
How you doing for staffing?
Staffing is good. Well, it was good. I had one of my operators end up getting a car accident. He's okay.
Who was
Got a
that?
little got a little banged up. Max.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's okay. He's got a little soreness in his back, but he was out for about, I'm gonna say he only missed about 3 weeks, and he's actually coming back on Sunday, so he's back to his regular schedule. But it didn't happen at work. It was a car accident. And other than that, the staff is full, and everything else is doing well.
All right, do me a favor, both to you and Meg. I mean, I can't, and I say this a lot, but I hope those guys know, and Meg too, that I really mean, I can't thank all of you enough for everything you've done. I know without a superintendent, it's been a burden to you, and I really don't know how to express my gratitude to Viola and Robin for all the help you've given me and the board. It's a debt I'll never be able to repay.
I appreciate it.
I want you to know I'm sincere
Yeah.
about that to all of you.
Yeah.
Robin, you too. I mean,
Yeah.
Thank you, Chuck.
you guys,
Chuck, my crew. It's like if you feed them, they're happy. And I
Yeah.
could give
what
I've
is that?
been given
I
a
gotta
lot of-
buy lunch or something?
a lot of
Yeah.
lunches.
Do it.
Megan can vouch for that.
One, just one, well, couple guys.
Well, I'll get, what's it, beef stew for Steve?
Oh, Steve doesn't care.
Okay. No, listen, I want to thank all of you so very much. And I
Yeah,
really
thank
mean
you.
that. That's about all I had for tonight. There was one other thing I wanted to bring up, and I can't think of it, and I'm gonna think of it when we go. Barry, you're gonna update that waiting list and
Yes.
on that. Well, that's about all I have for tonight, people. Anybody want to add anything, or? Don't all speak at once. Okay, with that, I'll take a motion in tonight's meeting.
Motion to end tonight's meeting.
Do I have a
Second.
second?
Second,
Motion to second, all in favor, Mr. DeRoss,
Yes.
Ms. Valley,
yes,
and Mr. Hessian's a yes. Thank you very much for everyone, for everything.
thank you.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Chuck,
Yes,
can you send me the 2 screenshots that you shared so I
I'll do
can?
them right now. I'll do it right now.
Thank you so much.
Oh, while I have you, Robin.
Yeah.
Any phone calls that come in regarding, that's what I wanted to say before the meeting ended. With the work ongoing out on the street, if anyone calls about odors or weird flushings in their toilet, Weston Sampson said, refer the phone calls to them and they'll be glad to explain it to them.
Oh, perfect. That's great. Thank you so much.
Okey doke. Okay, I'll send it over to you now. Good night, everybody.
All right. Have a good night.
Night.